Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Late video tonight, guys. Hope everybody had a great weekend. I couldn't put the video out yesterday, but trying to get out the video today. So kind of a very slow start of the week. Market has been a little iffy for yesterday morning, this morning. There was not really a trend in the market. So there are definitely some news plays which we traded. Not like last week, like Friday was crazy, but we definitely had some setups. Bitcoin plays were today kind of really strong, and we'll talk about those. Those were our good scalps today. So let's look at some of these setups and let's do a quick introduction. Anybody who's new to my community, new to my Twitter, or new to my YouTube, these trade recaps and teachings are from any trades ideas or any swing trades, investment ideas that I share on Twitter or I share in my community or I share on YouTube. And any trades that I take, or if I'm not taking any trades that I'm guiding my community through, we look at those trades, right? And how are we consistent? How are we consistent traders, how we trade professionally to make sure we consistently make money, we lose less, and we have a decent profits. How we do it by having repeatable setups. As a day trader, swing trader, whatever, we have repeatable setups that we trade day in, day out. And I have a system that thousands of traders across the world use, Ripster EMA Clouds. We use that system, and then we use the setups, right? You need to understand the difference between setup and systems. Setup is what we trade, system is how we trade. Every morning, my team, we create a game plan for the day, and that game plan you see in the front of me. We have earning plays, we have upgrades, downgrades, we have some other news. So we create a list, and from that we see, I'm on the voice whole day, I'm tracking these plays at the open, I'm watching them and see what is triggering, what is not. These green ones are the earning setups today. So there were a bunch of earning plays that worked out for us, be the BBWI, CNM. We'll talk about those. And then we had some upgrade movers, we keep watch on them. You can see the Bitcoin plays. JP Morgan had a note out on them, so they were definitely moving. There were some plays like VKTX, which was our swing, but we had to cut it under the 60 risk level, and but it was a good short for community. So we'll discuss all that. Additionally, we also share what we call as our crypto levels. We'll look at those, and then I share the daily levels for the SPY, QQQ, IWM, how we trade them. Today you will see that how SPY, QQQ broke out once it pushed over the pivot. So we will look at those as well. But these are the levels. You can take these levels and you can trade my system, and you can trade my system based upon that, and take the trades with the pivots and the EMA clouds. So I share that. Additionally, I have what I call is my day 2, day 3 strategy, and this is a strategy that I invented. We talk about a lot of these plays. So we talk about a lot of these setups, how we playing them. So today, for example, I did a webinar, free webinar for everybody how to play these setups. Spot was a nice winner out of our day 2, day 3 setups, and there were definitely some movers, which CRM was a mover, but later it came back. So yeah, these are some of the setups we trade in the community. We keep watch. A lot of swing setups come out of these as well, and we'll see what triggered, what was my guidance. There a lot of traders are trading a lot of things in the community, but I will focus on the few names that I was guiding or I was trading, and I'll show you my timestamped comments. I'm on voice for first few hours, so guiding the community through the market commentary, any short long ideas, and so we'll go through them. So anyways, let's start with the first play of the day. So the first initially I want to discuss is about we want to discuss about let me see, we want to discuss about cryptos, right? So cryptos were strong in the morning. So when market opened, the crypto was pretty bullish. Let's see if I can show you that Bitcoin. So we look at block, which is basically the blockchain crypto ETF. You see how it was strong today, right? So you can see that block was pretty strong today. So that means the sector was strong, and we realized this. I realized this very early in the pre-market, right? So you see that we had a lot of the crypto names on our start because JP Morgan even though they lowered the PT, but they had some comments out on that. So they were definitely strong, and we had our crypto list as well. And the first thing I told everybody today, we will go to the next place, but I just want to show you how did we know that this structure is strong, right? So if you look here, the first thing I tweeted, even in it was the community I was talking about it, but then I was also tweeting about it at 10 a.m. I talked like crypto is the strongest sector in the market. And by end of the day, if you focused on crypto sector, you made decent money with proper risk reward. So why was that, right? How did I figure out that crypto was strong? So every morning I keep eye on the sectors, right? I keep eye on the heat map. I look at the heat map. I look at the funds, which funds are strong, which funds are weak, right? So that tells me that, for example, today financials were super weak. So financials were short all day. JP Morgan was a short, but Bitcoin was strong, right? I also have created my analysis sheet, which I trade watch every minute, every 10 minutes I watch it and see what it's telling me. So it was telling me in middle of the day, right in the morning, that let's say when was it? So let's go to Monday or Tuesday. Yeah, let's go to Tuesday. So you see that since the morning, the crypto, and it started to push higher, 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 and it was leading. In middle of the day, it was the leading sector in the market. So that's why we knew if the block, which is a crypto sector, is leading, then we need to focus on the bitcoins and cryptos, right? And look what is lagging. Lagging is KRE, the regional banks, XLF, the finance. And there was a news out, right? Something about the banks being losing money or something like that. So you see, you could short the banks all day, and you could long crypto all day. I will go through the individual crypto names, how we longed it, how we made money. But this is very important to know what sector is strong and what sector is weak, right? So that's what you need to know and identify. So do this, build this habit, watch your heat maps, your broker, build. I cover this in my detailed webinar, how to build this. You can build your own tracker in trading view, and so that you know what sector is strong, so that you can capitalize on that and make money on that. And it works for swing trades as well. If you go to a bigger time frame, if I want to go to 1 month time frame and I just want to see what sector is strong since 8th of May, I can see that Sammys have been strong, 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 strong. Solar has been strong, and crypto just came up like just only today it pushed, right? So I can see that what has been strong. You see the solar sector has been going crazy because FSLR. So that's how you do the sector analysis, guy, to make money. And let's see how we made money with the sector analysis today. So as you see, as soon as the market opened, the first thing that I talked with the community was about coin, right? Coin is a big part of the Bitcoin. So I saw the levels. So we had our levels in the pre-market as well, right? Support levels 228, 225, 232, 239. And I could see that crypto is strong. I could see that, right? I saw that in the morning. That's why the first thing I told everybody was to focus on coin, watch it versus 230. And because the sector was strong. And then we even took a starter on CLSK, which kind of did not work. There was a kind of a morning loser, but kind of worked out later. So we'll talk about that as well. So you see, coin was showing a lot of strength in the morning, and I was on a voice. I told everybody we could scalp the coin, and that's our risk. And from that perspective, coin was working nicely, and my targets on coin. Let me go back, just show you that. So here you go. So it was looking good, and my target I gave everybody that if 238 breaks, we can see 240, right? So it was working nicely, right? And it was morning scalps were working nicely from 234. We pushed to 238. I was waiting for this breakout. I personally, when it failed this breakout, I kind of got out, but then it reclaimed the bullish, and then it broke out. And then again I guided the community that if you're still in, you add back, you can it's gonna go. And you see my 240 target met. My 240 target met, and it kind of faked me out, but that's fine, you can get back in. And then I gave the target for 245 to everyone. So 245 was my next target, and we hit the 245 target. And then it tried to fade. Few people were trying to short it, but it did not really break 512s. And I gave the warning, do not short, okay? Do not short It reclaimed 512. Even from my that warning, coin went on to push to like $4, and 248 was my final target. Maybe we see it tomorrow. I don't know, but it's definitely nice daily setup for a breakout on coin over this 250 level. So high watch on coin as well for tomorrow. Next one, let's look at CLSK. So CLSK was I was also long on it morning. On the morning, I gave a long issue C starter long, but it broke the clouds, right? So I got out. But then it reclaimed the clouds again, right? So CLSK reclaimed the clouds again and became bullish again. And I just showed you how the sector was. So you get back long again on CLSK, and they did start to give up, but then they became strong again, and that was another time to get long in. And you already showed you the coin long trade. So this was how the sector was strong, right? You could literally trade Mara today, you could literally trade Riot today. Yes, they kind of faked out in middle of the day, but then it recame the strength again, but probably the coin was the best one out of all these, but definitely the sector was strong, and this you could focus today to make money on that. So next one, let's look at Spot. So let's see what was the news on Spot, or what was our game plan on Spot. So the Spot was basically our day two setup. You can see here, and JP Morgan had increased the price target. So we already have it as on our day two setup, 307, 317 resistance pivot, and as soon as it breaks the 317 pivot, it breaks out, right? So it breaks out. Yesterday's highs, 371 pivot, so it breaks out. So so anyway, so that was Spot, right? There are few things going on for it. It was a daily breakout and there was an upgrade, right? Daily breakout, positive note, and this daily breakout was a key on Spot here. You see this daily chart. Always look at the daily charts. When you look at the daily charts, you can see the move more clearly, right? So Spot was pushing over our pivots. I told everyone, and I gave the 324 target. We actually met much more than 324 target. We met 327 by end of day, and I think we can see the continuation. If you are holding swinging it, it's not bad, but nice easy winner. Nothing too much, I did give the note in my day to day three play, so that was nice. Let's go to the next one. So let's look at next one. Next one we're going to look at is SMCI. SMCI was a loser today. I tried to take the amateur move, but the amateur move did not hold it, and it pulled back under the cloud. And market was choppy, right? So that was the thing. When market is choppy, these longs are not going to work. And SMCI have been selling off for quite a few days. One of these days it might run. I don't know what that day will be, but so far it has been just this downtrend candle on daily chart, but this 1 hour is very close to making a turn. So you definitely watch the 1 hour tomorrow. If 1 hour pushes over 50 EMA, can be a good long. So let's go to the next. So let's next one. Let's look at Dell. So Dell was a trade idea by guidance by Win, one of our lead traders. So let's go back, look at our level two levels on Dell. Dell is an important trade to have on day 2 day 3 because it just had the earnings, right? So support was 129.70, 128.60, 133, 141 were resistance pivots, and we know that Dell has sold off, right? Dell has sold off significantly, and there is always a gap. So there's a gap up top on Dell was our big huge winner on swing from 109s. So you can see that. So that's why it's on day 2 day 3, because there's a chance of reversal. And today the 10-minute became bullish for the very first time. So 10-minute became bullish for the very first time. Now tomorrow we will watch it 1 hour. So anyways, 10-minute becomes bullish. It's over our pivot of 128.60, 129.60 right here. And I tell everybody on the voice that's a good long. You can long it. And if you follow Vin's guidance, he was giving Dell long versus 131, and it was a good long. It was at a relative strength, just like coin, and it was a decent push from the morning call outs over our pivots. Even if you take 133, 134, it pushed night 137, 138. It was a decent win for 40-50% on the options, or $3-4 per share on the on the levels. So great guidance in the community by Win, and nice winning trade. All right, guys. The next one we're going to quickly look at is CRM. CRM. So let's see what was the CRM plan. What was our plan on CRM again, guys? So CRM. So CRM was again, right? So CRM was on our watch list, day 2, day 3 setup, 230, 34 were pivots, resistance was 237. Again, the concept with CRM was the same, right? It has sold off after the earnings. So that's why CRM is our focus every day. And you know how much it ran the other day, right? It ran all the way from 218, 220 to 234. And it still has a lot of room to run. But that's why we keep on watch on every day. So today, so CRM, I saw the strength on CRM this morning. It was breaking our pivots. It was good long. I told everybody on the voice you can trade it good long. It was, 241 was my target. We didn't get, because from yesterday's highs we did get close, but we pushed from 236, 238, 239, 240, 241, and when it breaks down, this is where you exit. You take profits at 10 a.m. So it was a nice little trade at the open, and then it was a short in the community. So it was a short call called by our trader Inway student who called it out on the trading floor, and everybody was a short, and that short from 237 gave like $4 or $5. So beautiful trade in the community today. Morning long, midday short, repeatable setups. Let's go to the next one. All right. So let's look at the next one. So now we're going to look at some news plays, right? Some nice earning setups that we trade all the time. So let's look at BBWI first. So BBWI, what is it? It's a bed, it's a bed bath and bed and bath body works, right? So let's see, BBWI. Oh yeah, Bath and Body Works. Yeah, definitely show up there a few times. So, anyways, so the plan, it was gapping down on the earnings. So, what was the plan? The plan on BBI was simple. 46.52 was support. 49.50 is the resistance. Remember, psychological resistance. So, I told everybody in the pre-market bearish to short the pops. Plan was crystal clear in the pre-market to short it. And what happened? BBYY pushes to 49 and fades all day to 44. $5 fade all day, and it never broke 512s. I was kind of, I kind of did a mistake on this one, that when it was pushing here, this is actually a reshort. I had alert set up which told, I didn't look at the chart, which told me that it has kind of reclaimed 512, which it did not. And then it rejected the 512s, and then even if you don't get out, basically you do not get out if it's not over the 512s, and then you re-hit it. When you see this candle, you re-hit it, and then you fade it all day for nice $4 or $5 short all day, right? You can see here, I gave the short as well. I was a little late to look at it, but you have the plan in the pre-market, and then I thought it's curling, so I thought it's no more a short, but it failed 512s, and then it was a short. And then I told everyone, if it breaks 45.50 it can fade more. Then it was a bear flag, and then it faded more, and then it hit 44.37, right? So even from this reject, you could have easily made $2 per share short when it faded down from here. So that was BBY. You saw the timestamped guidance. Even if you followed my guidance, that's what I need. In my community, I encourage everyone to be in a trade. They should be in a trade before me and use my guidance, right? I can't trade everything, but I give the guidance, and that's it. Short, high probability short. A lot of traders did really good on BBWI. Yeah, so there were definitely a lot of traders trading BBWI. Jam and Patel was short. Ron did really good on the BBWI. He was up 55%. Chris Craft was doing good, and Grist also did really good on that BBY. So you see, there was a lot of trades to be taken, and it's the same setup. We trade all day, and BBY was a nice winner. So next one was a similar setup, guys. The next one was CNM. When I gave BBWI short, let's look at CNM. CNM was the same setup. I told everyone bearish to short the pops. Bearish to short the pops. 54, 56, and I mentioned them in the same comment when I was talking about it. And CNMS was actually a bigger short, right? CRM from open was, guys, a $7 short. I mean, look at these opportunities, right? Market was not really working, but these plays were, right? CNM, beautiful short. If you waited on me telling you, and then you would be late. But very proud of my students, like traders, Eddie was up 79%. Drew was short. Ravneet was short. As you can see the guidance and beautiful all day, right? Literally, you could risk like $1,000 and make 4 or 5 grand. So that was the kind of trade. CNM, BBWI, same setups and beautiful execution all day. Ripster Cloud led the way. So next one we're going to look at is VKTX, right? So VKTX was our swing. We made good money as a community 2 times from 60 to 80, second time 80. So it was good, right? We were still profitable. But when it was breaking this level, you see there's the levels. You need to watch the levels. I knew it's going to fade here. No questions about it. You can see this level, this level, this level, this level, this level. There is no question if it breaks 68, it's going to come 62. Yes, I love the company fundamentally, love the story, but sometimes to manage our swings, our investments, we have to respect the levels, right? You could easily sell your calls, covered calls, or something to hedge, right? Or you could exit and add more, make more here. So, anyways, today it had good news. It was on our watch list, but I strictly gave the levels. On swing versus 60. So 60 was our swing, 60 was our levels. I warned everyone in the community that you have to cut the swing under that level. We love the company, love the name, but we have to just respect. Look at this. This is a gap. Fundamentals is fine, but price action rule. It will come back eventually. Maybe they buy it out and then it goes to they buy it out and maybe it goes to back to 100. That's fine. Of course, if somebody is invested from let's say somebody is invested in VKTX from 24 $30, he doesn't care, he or she doesn't care, that's fine. But if you are swing trading from 60, you have to exit, and or at least you have to short it intraday buy the puts, illiquid puts, or sell the calls, do something, or just exit and get back in, because you see the rules, right? Ripster EMA Cloud is breaking, previous day low is breaking, bearish, 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 super bearish, right? Full gap fill coming, right? I told everybody. And you see 60 break, 58 break, 56 break. This was a huge winner, even if we were swing trading, but we're still making money on the short side as well. And then we long it when the time is right. But we have to respect. If we just blindly trading and we are not respecting the technicals rules, make your investment more efficient, respecting the technicals, avoiding the drawdowns, exiting when it says system says exit. If you keep adding, you lost a lot of money. I warn everybody, I do not let anybody do that, but if you are doing that, then that's a problem, right? So yes, we are bullish fundamentally, but when fundamentals align with the price action, that is the most probable ads. Okay, so just wanted to clarify a few things on VKTX, how we manage in the community. So a lot of traders wanted to enter in VKTX, but again, that VKTX was heavy, so there was no time to enter. But a lot of traders listened to me and they did trade VKTX. Tristan got 330% on his 55 puts. Ron got 135% on his VKTX puts, and most of us were long, but we had to manage the risk, right? Navy Wet was 25% on VKTX put. So so that's how we manage. That's how we work. To reduce the risk, make money on such trades. Let's go to the next. Let's look at some few other game plan plays. There was a DCI. So DCI was an illiquid play. It was gapping up, but I was bullish, but it was extended, right? So when I say extended, it's extended from EMAs. It's a riskier trade, and it fell right away, right? It was a short right away 512 break, 3450 break, and the level I gave was you see that level I gave was 76, right? Once the 76 break, you short it, right? So that was DCI. And there was another one which was FERG. And on FERG, bearish to neutral 201, 203, and once 201 gave up, you just short it, right? If you long it, you get out and you short it. So that's why the levels are important. So go back, pause the screen, watch the levels, and you look at the daily chart. When I look at the daily chart and when I see these levels breaking down, this is bearish for me, right? If it breaks this tomorrow, then it's going to fade more. So that's the beauty of the system. That's why you respect the system, and that's how you trade, guys. Respecting the system. All right, before I wrap up today's video, just a quick look at our we want to look at SPY and QQQ. So SPY QQQ was chop all day. You see that? You see chop, 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 right? But when did they become bullish? When did they become bullish? When they reclaimed this 3450 and 512s, 3450 and 512s. Still was in the chop range, but it became bullish. And my whole community knows that. My students, all the traders who follow my teachings know that, and they were long. And then what happens? Let's look at our SPY QQQ levels. Resistance 526, resistance 452, and the next resistance levels were, let's look here, um, 528 and 453.63. So you see that once those levels are breaking out, it pushes, right? And they create another level here, high of the day. It's a breakout. This is a breakout. Look at this breakout specifically, right? So this I have been talking about all day. So when this break level goes, rejection, 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 SPY breakout, yeah, you take long. You actually get long before this. You use 3450 risk, you trade that, right? So I told everybody back bullish. I told everybody at 1245 that's it's back bullish, and we were right here. Need a push over HOD. And since I said that, back bullish, and we went on to push. So that was a SPY QQ guidance. Morning was tough, but night midday trades, easy, easy. Long scalps, breakouts there on SPY QQQ, morning choppy, and then breakout later in the day. That was really, really nice. So that was it for today, guys. Hope everybody had a good day. Hopefully tomorrow is better. Watch out SMCI tomorrow has a nice chart setup. Watch out coin. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care. Bye bye.